Dear students, in continuation with DC machines, the last class we discussed the construction features of a DC machine. Today we'll study the principle of operation, EMF equation, and the classification of DC generators. Principle of operation of a generator. We know that there is an induced voltage because of electromagnetic induction. It is given by Faraday's, that is the first law of Faraday states that whenever the flux linking with a conductor changes or the conductor cuts the magnetic flux, then there is an induced voltage. Means the flux linking with the conductor will change or the conductor has to cut the magnetic flux, then there is an induced voltage. That is stated here, whenever a conductor is moved within a magnetic field in such a way that the conductor cuts across the magnetic lines of flux, then the voltage is generated in this conductor. We know that in the case of the DC generator, in the stator we have got a field system, it is producing the magnetic flux, and in the rotating part you have got a armature conductors. By means of a mechanical energy, the armature conductors are rotating. Then there is a stationary magnetic field. Here there is a flux is produced by the field system, the stationary system, and the conductors are cutting a magnetic flux. Therefore there is an induced voltage in the generator. This is the principle of operation of a DC generator. That is, here conductor cuts the magnetic flux because of the electromagnetic induction. That is the Faraday's first law. The conductor cuts the magnetic flux. Because of that, there is an induced voltage in the armature conductors. Then how there is a conversion of the mechanical energy into electrical energy? We know that because of the relative motion between the magnetic field and the rotor, that is the conductors, it is because of a mechanical source. That is, you are rotating a conductor by means of a mechanical energy. Then ultimately there is an induced voltage in the armature conductors, that is the conversion of the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Then the magnitude of the induced voltage in the armature conductors, how you are determining, that also given by the Faraday's the second law. The second law, that is the Faraday's second law, states that the magnitude of induced voltage is directly proportional to rate of change of flux. Means if the flux is more, then the generated voltage is more. If it is rotating very fast, the generated voltage is high. If it is linking with a more number of conductors, then also there is a induced voltage is more. Therefore, the amount of induced voltage in the armature conductor is proportional to the flux, or it is also proportional to how fast it is rotating. At the same time, it is connecting to how many number of armature conductors. That is why it is stated here. You can see here the strength of the magnetic field, the angle at which the conductor cuts the magnetic field, the speed at which the conductor is moving, and the length of the conductor in the magnetic field. On these parameters, the magnitude of induced voltages depends upon. You can see here the principle of operation of a generator. We have got a stationary magnetic field that is shown in as a N and S. This is a rotating coil. It is called as an armature. You can call, I am taking a single coil here. This coil is rotating in the stationary magnetic field. Therefore, there is an induced voltage in the coil. That is, the flux is stationary, whereas the conductors are rotating in the magnetic field. There is an induced voltage. You can observe here, this phase of the coil of the armature coil is under the influence of N pole for first half cycle. The same coil side is come under the influence of S pole in the next pole. When it is come from one under the influence of one pole to another pole, the direction of the induced voltage in the coil is the changing. It is in the positive half cycle when it is come under the influence of N pole, the same coil side, if it is come under the influence of S pole, it has got a magnitude is changing. That is observed here. That is, when the flux linking with the conductors are perpendicular to lines of force, then the coil is moving the parallel to the magnetic flux. That you can observe here. This is the magnetic flux. This is a coil which is moving parallel to the lines of force. Therefore, the induced voltage is 0. When it starts rotating, the magnetic flux goes on increasing. The cutting of the magnetic flux goes on increasing, thereby induced voltage is increasing. That we are observing here, that is the induced voltage goes on increasing. Ultimately, the induced voltage is maximum when it is rotating through an angle of 90 degree. From 90 onwards, the rate of change of the flux or the flux linking with the coil goes on decreasing. Therefore, the induced voltage is also decreasing. When it is moving through an angle of 180 degree, then once again the induced voltage is 0. Then next half cycle, the coil side they are changing from one pole to another pole. Then the direction of the induced voltage is changing from positive to negative. Once again it goes on increasing. When it is reaching 270, once again we are getting a maximum negative value. Thereafterwards there is a decrease in the voltage. Ultimately it is reaching to 0 value when it is moving through an angle of 360 degree. Then the cycle repeats here. Means the actual induced voltage in the armature conductors is the alternating in the nature. That is alternating in the nature. Therefore, it is a DC generator. What you need is the output is a DC. Therefore, this coil is connected to commutator segment. Through the commutator segment, through the brushes, what I am getting is a DC output. How we are getting the DC output? We will see. That is the principal operation is the coil is moving under the stationary magnetic flux. There is the induced voltage in the armature coil which is alternating in the nature. That we'll see here. You can see here. When the coil side is under N pole, it is the current direction is upwards. When it is under the influence of S pole, it is changing. Means what we are getting here is the alternating voltage. That is, it is the nature of the waveform what we are getting, the induced voltage in the coil. That is quite evident from this animation. Then, how to get the unidirectional current or unidirectional voltage from the alternating voltage from the DC generator? Then, there is a commutation process. Through the commutator, you can see here, when it is under the influence of N pole, the current direction is upward, you can call. Then under this coil side, it is a downwards. Then the total current is moving from here to here and it is moving here. Then these are connected to commutator segment. Whereas these are the two brushes, they are at the stationary position. They are a stationary position. They are brushing the commutator segment. You can see here, in the first half cycle, that is, when this coil is under the influence of N pole, this commutator segment is connected to this, you can call as a positive brush, and the other side is connected to negative brush. It is touching negative brush. Even though this coil side is come under influence of S pole, ultimately it is connecting to negative. The direction is also changing, but however, it is connected to negative. The current direction is changing from N to S here. However, at the same time, the commutator segment is changing from positive brush to negative brush. Ultimately, the current which is flowing through the load remains the unidirectional. This is how we are getting the unidirectional current in the outer load condition. But the generated voltage in the coil is alternating in the nature. This is how we are getting a DC from the commutation process. Then we'll study what are the different types of the DC generator you are getting. There are different types of or the classification of the DC machines. That is, they are broadly divided into two. That is, one is called as separately excited generator and self-excited generator. These are come under the electromagnetic machines. These are electromagnetic machines, means the field is produced by electromagnets. Whereas there is one more type of machine, that is the permanent magnet machines. Here the field system is used using the permanent magnets. But however, in practice, the permanent magnet machines are not used. There is only electromagnets machines are used. These are classified into self-excited and separately excited. In the self-excited generator, we have got three types of the DC generator we are getting depending upon the connection of the field. One is called as a shunt generator, second one is a series generator, the third one is a compound. Once again, under the compound generator, it is subdivided into cumulative compound and differential compound. Under cumulative and differential, once again it is classified into long shunt and the short shunt. What we mean by this, the classification, that we'll see in detail one by one. How they are classified based on the field connection. Now I explain with the help of the diagram. Classification of DC machines. This machine is broadly divided into, I told you, classified into self-excited and separately excited. And in the separately excited, you have got only one type because the field is excited by a separate source, then it is called as separately excited generator. In the self-excited generator, the part of the electrical energy generated is used for exciting the field, that is why it is called as a self-excited. Under self-excited, it is broadly classified into three types. One is called as series generator, then the second one is called as shunt generator, the third one is called as compound generator. Under compound generator, we have got the two types. One is called as long shunt compound generator. The another one we are calling as a short shunt. Short shunt compound generator. Okay. Then what do you mean by a self-excited and the separately excited? In the self-excited, there is a generator. Generator is represented by an armature with the brush. This is a symbolic representation of a generator. Because of the generating action, there is an induced voltage in the armature conductors. It is capable of delivering the current. The small percentage of generated power that is utilized by the field winding, then it is called as self-excited generator. What do you mean by self-excited generator? The whatever there is a generated power, the small portion of the power generated in the generator itself is used for creating the magnetic flux in the generator. That is called as self-excited generator. That is, the small portion is used, small power is used to excite field system. Then it is called as self-excited. It's called as self-excited. Whereas in the case of separately excited generator, we have got a generator, then there is a field system. This is a field system which is creating a magnetic field, but this is excited by a separate source. This is excited by separate source. Then this is called as separately excited generator. It's called as separately excited generator. That is, the power generated by the generator, a small portion of that is used for exciting the field winding. It is called as self-excited. Whereas for exciting the field, if you are using the extra source, then it is called as separately excited generator. Then how symbolically these machines are represented in the electrical system, that we'll see one by one. The first one I'll take separately excited generator. Separately excited generator. Separately excited generator. The generator is consist of the two main parts. One is the armature. I told you the armature is represented by a circle with the two brushes. This is what we are calling as armature of the circuit. Okay, this is represented by G. Then the another part of a DC generator is field system. This is your armature. This is your the field. Okay, then this field winding is excited by a external source. That is why it is called as separately excited generator. Therefore, there is a current, the field current IF is flowing through the field winding. It is producing the magnetic field. Then this is the armature. It is rotating. Then the flux is the stationary, whereas the conductors are moving. Because of that, there is a induced voltage in the armature. Therefore, it is connected to, ultimately you are using the electricity for a utilization. It is connected to a load. It is connected to a load. Therefore, there is a generated voltage inside the machine. That is what you call is the internal voltage or generated voltage. Then the current which is delayed by the armature is called as armature current. The current which is flowing through the load is called as load current. Then the voltage which is available across the terminals of the load is called as a terminal voltage. Just you have to remember the different terminologies. That is, I is armature current, of course E is generated voltage, I is armature current, and V is terminal voltage, and IL is the load current. IL is the load current. Okay, this is a symbolical or the circuit diagram of separately excited generator. That is, external source of a DC source is connected here, positive and negative. Then there is a field current is flowing here. When the current is flowing, it is producing a magnetic flux. Here there are armature conductors. The conductors are rotating. In the stationary magnetic field, there is an induced voltage, that is the E. Because the circuit is closed, it start delivering the current. The current which is delivered by the armature is called as the armature current. The current which is utilized by the load is called as the load current. Then the voltage available across the load is called as the terminal voltage. Here the winding is excited by separately, therefore it is called as separately excited generator. Then under self-excited generator, we have got the self-excited. Now we'll study self-excited generator. Under self-excited, the first type is the series generator. Series generator. Here, once again, the DC generator consists of armature, is represented as G. Then I have got a field winding. Then what is the type of generator? It is series generator. The series generator means the field of the winding is connected in series with the armature. Then that machine is called as series generator. See here, I am drawing here. This is a field winding. That is series winding, which is connected in series with the armature, and it is connected to load. It is connected to load. This is a load. Once again, you can represent the different terminology here. The induced voltage inside the machine is E. The current which is delivered by the armature is called as armature current. This is your series field. The current which is flowing through the series field winding is I series. Then the current which is flowing through the load is called as the load current. Therefore, the voltage across the terminals of the load is the V, that is the terminal voltage. Same terminology. V is the terminal voltage, IL is the load current, I is the armature current. There is one more current I am represented here, that is I series, means the current which is flowing through the series field. It is called a series field because the field is connected in series with the armature. If you are observing here, IA, that is the armature, the field as well as load, all are connected in series. Therefore, it is a series circuit. Therefore, all the currents are the same. That is, your IA is equal to I series is equal to IL. That is, in the case of a DC series generator, the field is connected in series with the armature. Then the current in the field and the armature, current delivered to the armature, and current which is flowing through the load, all are the same. Here, IA is equal to I series is equal to IL. This is what we are calling as series generator. Then we will move on to the shunt generator. Shunt generator. In the shunt generator, once again the main part is armature. It is drawn as a circle with a brushes. And here it is a shunt generator, means the field is connected across the armature or parallel to the armature. See, this is your armature. Parallel to this, I am connecting the field winding. The field winding is connected across the armature, and from other end which is connected to the load. It is connected to it is a load. It is what we are calling as a sent field. It is called a sent field because the field winding is connected across the armature. Once again, you can mark the currents and the voltages. The induced voltage is E, current delivered by the armature is IA, current flowing through the load is IL, the current which is delivered to the field is called as IF. Then the voltage across the load is V, the terminal voltage is V. We'll see what I mean by the voltage V. What is the difference between V and E? We'll study in the later part of the lecture. Now we can observe here, in the case of sent generator, nothing but the field winding is connected across the generator and the load is, as usual, it is connected to the armature. In this case, if you are observing, if you are applying the Kirchhoff's current law at this node, then what we are getting here is the armature current in the case of sent generator, IA must be is equal to IL plus ISH, IF. That is the field current. That is, you can see here, it is incoming current is IA, outgoing currents are IL and IF. Then the voltage across the sent field winding is the same as the voltage across the load. That is, voltage across field is equal to terminal voltage that is equal to P. Means the voltage across the field as well as thus remains the same. That is, the sent generator you are calling because the field winding is connected across the armature. Then the third type of the machine is a compound generator. In the compound generator we have got two types. One is called as the long shunt and short shunt. It is called as a compound generator, means in this case we have got both the series field and as well as shunt field they are existing. First I will draw short shunt. Short shunt, more specifically it is short shunt compound generator. Short shunt compound generator. Once again I told you it is consist of armature and the field. In the case of the compound generator we have got both series as well as the shunt fields are there. Therefore you can observe very keenly here. I have got an armature with the two brushes, generator. I have got a series field as well as shunt field. The series field is in series with the armature. Okay. Then I have got a shunt field. It is shunt field. It is series field. I am written here a short shunt. Short shunt means this field winding can be connected across the armature, or this field winding is connected across the combination of the armature as well as the series field. Based on the connection of this field, it is called a short shunt or a long shunt. If you are connecting this shunt field winding across the armature only, see here, the field winding is connected across the armature only, then your load is connected here. Load is connected here. The current which is flowing through the load is IL. The voltage across the load is V here. Generated voltage is E, and the armature current is IA. The shunt field current IL represented by here ISH. You can see here the field winding is, the shunt field winding is connected across the armature. Then there is one more possibility. The same shunt field can be connected across the armature as well as the series field. Then it is called as the long shunt. Okay, this is how you have to represent your short shunt. Then we'll see the long shunt generator. The next one is the long shunt. Long shunt compound generator. Once again, here we have got two windings, series as well as the parallel, or series and shunt field winding. This is your armature. There is a series field which is connected in series with armature. Then I have got shunt field. Now in the previous case, this shunt field is connected across the armature, therefore it is called as a long shunt. Now this shunt field is connected here. It is connected across the combination of armature as well as the series field. Here it is looks like a long shunt, therefore it is called as long shunt compound generator. Then the load is connected here. Once again, can mark the different terminology, current and the voltages in this circuit. That is, generated voltage is E, armature current is IA, the load current is IL, current in the shunt field is ISH, and the voltage across the load is V. Once again, the same terminologies you are using: terminal voltage, load current, armature current and shunt field.